All right, here we are, guys. Welcome to our special exclusive Thursday night training with an industry icon, someone who's spoken at both of our conventions. Uh, I personally got trained by him at our leadership retreat, and I'm doing some coaching with him right now. Um, I don't really know what else to say other than Todd is just one of the most well-respected uh, trainers, coaches, speakers in the entire industry of network marketing. And I could go on and on and on. I just read through Todd's bio on his website, and it was really, really long. If I read it, it would take me probably 15 minutes to get through it. So I'm just going to hand it over to you, Todd. A lot of people on here know who you are. Maybe a few are not so familiar. So I'll just hand it over to you.
Sounds good, my friend. Good evening. Good evening. Am I coming in loud and clear?
I can hear you. Good.
Okay, good, good. All right. Well, first of all, it's great to be here. I appreciate the opportunity to share anytime I get in front of a group of people that want to figure this network marketing game out. I'm game on to help. Most of you guys should be familiar with me since my book, Fearless Networking, is in every distributor kit that comes out of your company. And perhaps some of you have seen me speak at the last one or two events, and going to be speaking again for you guys in October. For those of you who are not familiar with me, I've spent in August, it'll mark my 30th anniversary in the network marketing profession. Man, even as I say that, it's pretty mind-boggling because I remember starting brand new and just being a hungry young kid who just wanted to be successful in the business, and found this amazing profession. And I never liked having a boss. So when I saw network marketing the first time, I thought, my gosh, this is awesome. No boss, unlimited earnings potential, let's go. And I kind of thought it was going to be, this, I don't know. I thought it was going to be a little bit, the journey. For some reason, I painted this picture like I'm going to be making 10 grand a month in 90 days. I went car shopping already. I was looking for a Rolex watch the second month I was in the business. And, I was just naive, man. I just didn't understand the amount of work that it took. But I got to tell you, having still been here for 30 years later, this is the most amazing profession you guys could ever be in. And I think most of you guys know that I'm a very, very big fan of what you guys are doing as a company. I've known Josh for a number of years, and I've done a lot of back and forth conversations with him since you guys first launched. I mean, when you guys first launched as a company, or actually before you guys even launched, he called me to let me know that he was getting ready to launch a company. And so I've done a lot of conversations with Josh and Jenna over the last few years. And so I'm pretty embedded in what you guys are doing. I'm also very knowledgeable on what's happening in the CBD space. Just what's happening with you guys as a company is pretty phenomenal. The growth, you just couldn't be in a better place. I want you, I mean, you probably know that, but having an outsider looking in who's saying, you're in a great place. And I said this on the platform at the last event, or maybe it was one of the road tour events because I popped in on a road tour event. But just because CBD is hot, and because you guys have a compensation plan that pays out an absolute ton of money, certainly more than most network marketing compensation plans. Notice I didn't say the greatest compensation plan since history of sliced bread. I mean, it's a pretty damn good compensation plan, I will say that, but I would never make an absolute statement like that. I think that's foolish when people say that. But I do have to say, your comp plan pays out a lot more money than most comp plans in network marketing. And I'll just say that right there. So, don't be quoting me on Facebook either after this. Todd Falcone says, you don't need to do that, okay? Just go do you. But here's the deal. Regardless of how hot CBD is and how great of a company and how great of a compensation plan and how amazing of a leader Jerry is and other leaders in the company that you're working with, it's not automatic, right? You got to get to work. And so what I want to talk to you guys about tonight is something that I think you need to get a grip on and really think about. Like, here's the deal. What's your objective here? Your objective is to build as big of a team as possible of producers, right? People that show up, get it done, make things happen, and don't whine and moan and complain. They get after it and they go do it, right? People that can do what we do. And I'm not saying that, everybody deserves a fighting chance, but one of the things I discovered, and this is something like what I'm going to be talking about tonight, is this whole idea of recruiting professionals, recruiting up the socioeconomic chain. Because here's the deal. If you're going to put together a Super Bowl team, Even if you don't not like football or know what football's a sport, just in case you didn't know that, I knew you know that. But if you know nothing about the sport, if you wanted to win the Super Bowl, what are you going to do on your team? Are you going to put together a team of has-beens or a team of people that have never done it? They don't even know how to spell football. They don't know if it's a round ball or something other ball. They don't even know what it is. Or do you make a home run in football? No, I mean, you want to put somebody in there that understands what football is and is the best at what they do. And so I discovered quite a long time ago that, recruiting professional people just seemed to make a lot more sense to me. I did what a lot of people do in network marketing, and they go down the socioeconomic chain. But I'm actually gonna do I'm gonna do a little screen share. I'm gonna do some slides for you guys tonight. So I'm gonna take the screen share here in a second, but I'm going to go through a training on how to recruit professionals. This is something that I've perfected over a number of years. It's something I discovered through my own, I guess, frustrations and just talking to, I don't know, just people that just had a broke mentality. They were broke, but they just got stuck in a broke mentality. And I wanted to work with people that are like, yeah, let's do this. I saw the glass is half full rather than half empty. People that wanted to get after it. And so for a number of years, this became, and still would be to this day, my number one way of recruiting in network marketing. So I'm going to go here real quick. I'm just checking on the background noise. So let me just do a quick screen share real quick. So you get a little bit of visual. And I'm going to go here. Let's see if this works. I'll go here. Slideshow. Look at that. That's so high tech. You guys, Jerry, seeing my computer screen right now? All right, so the title of tonight really essentially is Insider Secrets to Recruiting Professionals, how to recruit pros into your business, because that's really what we're looking for. People that, and I'm gonna talk about this methodology, how I kind of came upon it. I will say at the beginning of this, like, I'm gonna give you everything I can. We're gonna be here for about 60 minutes tonight, so buckle in, take notes. I'm gonna give you everything I can. But in an hour, I can't give you all the answers, but I'm going to give you guys some amazing ideas and make you think differently than perhaps you've been thinking in the past. At the tail end of this, I'm going to give you an opportunity to grab my Recruiting Professionals course, which is one of my top selling courses. Whether you choose to invest in yourself in that or not, that's totally up to you. You're going to get a lot of great stuff regardless. But I'm going to just tell you up front, at the tail end of this, I'm going to give you guys a smoking deal on my Recruiting Professionals course, and you're going to understand why this is such an amazing methodology or way of recruiting. And I think especially, man, honestly, with what's happening in CBD right now, people, like, I know a lot of guys in and out of network marketing that are trying to get into the CBD business. You're in the CBD business and you can offer a CBD business to people. And I've got a lot of very high level friends of mine that are very, very curious about how to get involved in this space. And so the demand, the market awareness, the trends of recruiting up is a lot easier, faster, and is a lot more scalable than a lot of other different recruiting methodologies out there. So, and it's literally, this is super cool. It's an unlimited source of prospects for you that you never have to pay a dime to generate. And I think that's something, because if we get into marketing and start, thinking about how can I reach people, you could go out and spend a ton of money just trying to generate the right kinds of prospects. With this, you don't have to do that, which is super awesome. 4 big things that you're going to learn today. Number one, why professionals are actually easier to recruit than most people. Number 2, why you don't have to be good, experienced, or already successful to recruit high quality people. Number 3, who the best categories of professionals are to prospect for your business and why. And number 4, what to say to them to get them to say yes to you. So I'm going to actually teach you exactly how to talk to these people. So here's secret number 1. Why pros are easier to recruit. The path of least resistance isn't what most people think. I have a long history in network marketing, so I know this to be absolutely true. Most people that get involved in network marketing, including myself when I started, think that it's easier, less intimidating to talk to my broke buddies and my broke family members. And I've always, when I started, I perceived that it would be really hard to talk to really successful people, right? So I thought, well, if I go talk to my broke friends and family, that's going to be easier. And then if I go talk to, somebody who's already successful, I'm going to be met with a bunch of resistance. But the reality is, professional people are actually easier to recruit. when you go down the socioeconomic chain, and you probably experienced this, people come back to like, well, how much money are you making? Well, if it's so good, why don't you pay my way in? Or you get, I don't have the money, I'm broke, I'm skeptical. It's kind of, I'm not saying everybody's like this, that's, not necessarily making a lot of money or potentially beneath where you are currently socioeconomically, but you tend to get that pretty frequently when you go down the socioeconomic chain. And everybody deserves an opportunity. I'm not saying that somebody who's broke, I was broke when I started. I think everybody deserves an opportunity, but I think if you strategically think, okay, if I'm going to grow this business with hempworx, I want to grow this as big and as fast as I can. And the way you're going to grow it as big and as fast as you can is by going after hungry people that are able and capable of doing what we do in this space. Like, the cool thing about professionals is they've got the money to start. They have a much stronger center of influence. Think about it, like a 40-year-old mortgage broker, real estate agent. Who are they hanging out with? They're hanging out with other people that are like them, right? Like attracts like. My first two jobs were Jack in the Box and McDonald's at the ages of 16 and 17. And at the age of 16 and 17, working at Jack in the Box and McDonald's, who was I hanging out with? I was hanging out with a bunch of 16 and 17-year-old pimple-faced kids. That was my center of influence. And I know we can't recruit 16 and 17-year-olds, but I think you get my drift. When you go up the socioeconomic chain, you're just not met with the kind of resistance that we typically are in other spaces. And like I just said, like attracts like. Who do you think a 40-year-old real estate professional is hanging out with? How about someone the same way? Somebody. What if this person's even the same age, or 40, and they're stuffing shelves at Walmart? Hey, good for you. You got a job. You're taking care of your family. That's amazing. But you're 40 and you're working at Walmart. In the stocking department. If you work at Walmart in the stocking department and you're 40, well, good for you, because you're here. You're already involved in network marketing, so no need to get mad at me. But the reality is, two 40-year-olds, one's taking a path towards success and one's kind of just taking a job. There's a big difference there. And so when we go after, and the other thing is, a lot of times we prejudge people. One of the first things we say in network marketing is don't prejudge somebody, right? It's like one of the first, that's like network marketing 101, and then we all do it. We think, oh, gee, John wouldn't do this because he does this, or Sally would never be interested in this because she's in it, or whatever. Well, here's a real life example. My golf buddy, Randall, who I met at a Bible study in Pacific Grove, California in like 1998 or 97. He was like, I think his net worth at the time was like somewhere between 60 and 100 million. He didn't make most of that himself. He married the daughter of the fourth wealthiest man in the state of Texas, and Texas is a pretty rich state. So in fact, you know what? I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Wall Street, but Gordon Gekko, some of you guys probably remember that. He married Gordon Gekko's daughter, literally. There is no Gordon Gekko, but the person that they made that entire movie after. That's, and so Randall, I thought, for a long time, I thought, why? And I'm talking about this, these are people, some of you, all of you have people on your chicken list that are in your warm market. You have some high-level people in your warm market that you probably haven't even talked to yet about this. I didn't do it with Randall, not because I was afraid. I thought, why would he ever do this? This guy's worth $60 million or $100 million, whatever it is. And one day Randall calls me up and he goes, hey, Todd. He goes, do you know Everett such and such? And I go, yeah. I go, why do you ask that? He goes, yeah, well, because I'm on your 7th level and he's on your 6th. Why didn't you tell me about this? And I thought to myself, I don't know, because I'm stupid. I don't know. I didn't even know what to say. And here's a guy that I was playing golf with like 2-3 days a week, every single week for like the last 3 years. He knew I was involved in network marketing, but I never brought it up. I never even talked to him about it because I prejudged him. And so you got to understand that sometimes we think somebody, we paint a picture in our brains about, especially you look at somebody's house, their car, their life, and you think they got it all together. Did Randall do it because he wanted the money or needed the money? No, he did it because he was looking for a challenge in his life. And instead of him being personally sponsored by me, he was way down in depth, and I never really had a chance to capitalize on that. And this other guy you see right here, Jeff Morrell, he's actually a former realtor in Colorado. And we did a Zoom together recently, and I actually recorded it. There's a video of us on YouTube. But this guy, and I'm showing you him because here's a high-level realtor been very successful in real estate, got involved in network marketing, and he actually watched the same thing that you're watching right now a few years ago. He ended up grabbing that course that's associated with it, started applying it, and he's been building his business mostly local, actually, in his own backyard market, like literally in his town. And in our meeting, we were chatting, and he's like, I literally sit down with people, and I'm signing up like 50% of the people that I sit down with. And I share that with you because the strategy that I'm talking about tonight can be done online, offline, Facebook, LinkedIn, phone, your market, other markets, internationally, other states. It can be done anywhere. So successful people are just easier to talk to, and they're more likely to act. One very important thing you need to understand is that people, like I said, and a lot of, I want you to understand, do not put this seed in your brain, because a lot of people do. They think that people only do network marketing because they need the money. People do network marketing for a lot of reasons. There's a lot of very successful, financially successful people that have gotten involved in network marketing that don't need the money. And so people who plant that seed, like, oh, only people that need the money do network marketing, they don't talk to these people. And when you let that fact sink in, you're going to come to the simple conclusion that talking to professional people is a way better option when it comes to recruiting than what most people are doing. Second secret for tonight. And this is a question that comes up all the time. First of all, you don't have to be good, experienced, or successful to recruit high quality people. A lot of times people are like, well, why would anybody listen to me? Like, why would a successful person listen to me about business? I've never made anything in my life. Well, because number one, you're not the deal. The deal is the deal. And one of the cool things about this method is, if you think about this, like, especially when, I want to teach you a concept real quick. So there's a concept called perception is projection. Perception is projection. What that means, and I'll describe it to you. What you project upon someone, when you meet somebody, when you meet a new person, think about, like, the first time you meet somebody, there's an impression that they're giving upon you. Everything that they say, what they say, how they say it, essentially is being projected onto a movie screen. And that projection, the things that you projected upon them, become their reality of who you are. So, I mean, one kind of funny example that I use is, you know, this little old grand lady. She's a sweet Christian woman, 89 years of age. She fell, she broke her hip. She has to go to the doctor. She's never drank in her life. She doesn't like she's never taken drugs in her life. And the doctor's like, look, you have to take these pain pills. And so they give her some pain pills. This is pre-CBD, by the way. And this is a made up example, just so you get the point. And so she's like, I'm not taking these. So she takes like a half of one just because she had to, right? And her friend invites her over for a Christmas party. And she doesn't drink, but somebody handed her half of a glass of champagne, and she took a few sips off of it. And the combination of that half of a glass of champagne and the little half of pain pill, she went loopy. And she got all sloppy, and she's meeting people. She's like, hey, how you doing? My name's great-great-great-grandma. And she's all these people that she's meeting for the very first time. What are they thinking of her? Oh, my gosh, this sloppy old grand lady, drunken, sloppy, can't handle her booze, alcohol. They'll think all these different, whatever they're going to think. Because what she projected upon that person or those people in that party became their reality of who she is, but that's really not her. So what I want you to understand, this is super powerful. What are you choosing to project? Are you choosing to project when you're communicating with people success, accomplishment, or is it desperation, need, beggy, pleady? Which one is it? When I started in network marketing, before I understood this concept, I was broke. I was desperate. I was running out of money. And it wasn't working for me. Nobody was joining me when I did that. And so once I understood this, I started to project a different image. And like this, like, for example, here's the question I have. How would you act if, say, you were making 20 grand a month? Would you carry yourself differently? Would you hold your head a little higher? Would you walk with a little more spring in your step? Would you talk a little differently, carry yourself in a different way? The reality is, when you ask that question, most of us will say, yeah, I would definitely, yeah, I would. I mean, if I was making 20 grand, pick the number, whatever the number is. yeah, I would just, it was like, because you would be operating from a different state. It's like a different level of ownership, right? You know that you know. Well, why can't you do it already? Actors do it every single day. They act the part before they become the part. And this works especially well with people that we don't know, people that haven't had any kind of interaction with us, like our friends. Our friends, for example, they know us. They know us from junior high. They know us from college, and we were dancing with a lampshade on our head and saw us at college parties, or they've seen us our whole lives. And so shifting those people's perception of us can happen, but it takes a little bit more time. With people that you're just getting to know, they don't know if you're working and you're living in a 10 by 10 square foot room, or you're sitting in a 10,000 square foot house overlooking whatever place you're, the ocean or mountains or wherever your, desired beautiful home might be, right? They don't know. So the concept of perception is projection. Like, for example, in this picture you see here, that one bedroom apartment, that door see over my left shoulder, you see that window. So that's a garage, right? I got to my first $10,000 a month check working out of that exact garage. And when I was in the garage, and that window that oversees my left shoulder, that's this moldy single pane, just disgusting window, I remember. But when I was in my office picking up the phone and calling professionals, I wasn't saying, hey, gosh, gee, I'm in the garage. Things kind of suck for me right now. It'd be really great if you joined my business so I could make some money. I acted like I was making 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand a month. And I'm not saying you lie to people. I think the truth is critical. It's not about, yeah, I made 20 grand last month and you didn't make $2 last month. It's just acting in a different way. It's by harnessing the power of projection, and all of you have the opportunity to do that. Literally, actors do it every single day. Robert De Niro, I'll take one movie. What was it? I can't remember. He was Max Cady in Cape Fear, right? Is that Robert? I mean, he played the part. He became the part. We believe the part. It's the same thing here. How would you act if you were making X amount of dollars a month? And that's powerful because all of you can do it. And it puts you into a different position because you're carrying yourself in a different way. Like I said, in the cold market, especially with people that don't know you, it's easy to do this. It's very, very easy to do this. Now, the other thing is, I want to talk about the categories, the best categories to target. It took me a lot of years to nail this down. There's 4 main commonalities with that these professionals that I prefer to call or contact have with network marketing. The number one is the primary thing that they do in their daily jobs or occupations is they sell. They're in a sales capacity. They're leading. They're overseeing. They're managing. They're in some type of authoritative capacity that is also involved in engaging with people. So what do we do every single day? We do exactly that. I mean, we're constantly engaging with people, communicating, helping lead, inspire, do all these things. So they're already doing it. They're just doing it someplace else. Number 2 is the way that they're paid is they're paid on personal production. How are we paid in network marketing? We don't get an hourly wage. We don't make a salary. We only get paid if we're producing stuff. And, think about a realtor, for example, if they sell a house, they get paid. A commissioned salesperson in an employed job, if they do really well, they got that job because they want to make more money and they want to be paid on their production. And if they do well, then they do great. And if they don't, then they don't. Number 3 takes me to that. They don't mind taking a little risk for the long-term reward. I think to some extent as network marketers, we're risk takers. We're doing things that are probably different than we thought we would be doing. I don't think anybody ever grew up and said, hey, I want to be a network marketer when I grow up. Maybe my kids do because they grew up in it, but not most people. They got some aspiration or idea of what they want to be. And then the thing about these particular professional categories that are so awesome is these are people that are in, risk tolerant types of activities. They're in commission sales. They're in environments that if they do well, like my buddy has made a lot of money in commercial real estate. He had to bartend like for the first 3 years. So he wasn't making ends meet when he first started his career. So he was bartending at night to make ends meet. So like a realtor that comes in or a salesperson, imagine if you're in an employed sales position and you got a quota to make. And if you don't make that quota, for some of you who had been in sales before, if you don't make that quota month in and month out, you're on the street. If you get into real estate and you can't figure out a way to do a deal, you're on the street. And I think, we don't have like a lot of like financial risk associated with starting in a network marketing business. But I mean, like I said, we're doing things a little bit outside the box from what most people would, that we were taught and so again, the whole idea here is specifically profiling people that are more likely to be successful in network marketing if they choose to do it. And number 4 is they're typically pretty social people. I mean, look, network marketing is a social business. It's about engaging. It's about interacting. And I mean, I would, if I had to say, oh, I'm going to go after a bunch of computer coders for my network marketing business or a bunch of realtors, who do you think I'm going to choose? I mean, the coders like to hide in the back room sucking down their Coca-Cola because they're antisocial people, a lot of them. And the realtors, they get involved in real estate because they get to go engage and interact and do all those things. And I think, most of us that are involved in network marketing, whether we're introverts or extroverts, we're pretty social people. We like to be around people. And here's an idea. Here's some of the best categories of professionals that I've recruited over the years. Real estate professionals, I've mentioned, mortgage brokers, insurance agents, small business owners. I mean, think about the kind of risk a small business owner, these brick and mortar companies, some of these businesses that you see on the corners of your neighborhood or your town that put up all this money and they work all the time. And how much money do they really bring home? I mean, not necessarily a lot. I mean, some of them might, but a lot of them, you can own a business, cost you a bunch of money, and you might net out and take a salary of 50 grand a year, but the business owns you, right? So these are great people to target. Salespeople, account executives, sales managers, directors of marketing, people who run charities are amazing because they're very well connected. Well-networked people that have an extensive circle of influence. Those are ideal candidates for your business, specifically with hempworx and specifically in network marketing. The 4th secret is asking the right question. I've done a lot of trainings on this subject. Like, not all questions are created equal. I did a training a couple weeks ago on the subject of follow-up. And like, for example, let's say you got somebody and you sent them through your tour. And let's say I'll just use Jerry as an example. Let's say I was in hempworx and I sent Jerry through the tour. And he went through the tour on Monday. And I said, Jerry, can I follow up with you in a couple of days? Or can I follow up with you in the next 24 hours? The fact that I asked the question is better than not asking, right? But if I structured the question differently, I said, Jerry, when can I get back to you tomorrow morning? All I did is I changed the question really just by putting the word when in the front of it. And it totally changes the power of the question. It goes from, Jerry could say, if I said, can I get back to you tomorrow? He'd say no, or he could say no. I don't think he'd say no, but he could say no. But when I say, when can I, all it is one word, when can I get back to you tomorrow? It's presupposing that I can get back to him. So when you ask the right questions, there's ultimate power in asking. First of all, anytime we ask a question, we get an answer typically, right? Isn't that amazing? Like, we've all heard the phrase, ask and ye shall receive, right? But sometimes like things that are so simple, because we've heard it so many times, we forget about the true power behind it. But when you ask the right question in the right way to the right audience, there's power. And this question that you see in front of you is something that it took me 6 years to develop. Not because I'm slow, not because I'm stupid, not because I don't know how to formulate a question. It just was like, I'd ask a question in a way and I would elicit a response, but then I would change the question a little bit and it would work less. And then I would change it this way and it would work a little bit more. And about 6 years into recruiting professionals and getting results all along the way, I came up with this question, which I would not change to this day. And I would tell you this right now. This is the question. Don't change it. Don't reinvent it. It's like this. I learned a long time ago, if somebody has something or has a way of doing something and they're willing to actually teach you and not BS you and tell you the truth and say, look, this is exactly how I do it. Go ahead and copy it. Why would you ever reinvent the wheel? But people do it all the time. The question is, do you at all keep your options open in terms of making money outside of what you're currently doing? You're going to hear me say that a few times, but I remember one time I get this guy Scott calls me up, and I had saved his voicemail for like 2 years on my phone until finally I changed phones and that voicemail unfortunately disappeared. But this was essentially his voicemail because he had purchased the course, my Insider Secrets course. And he's like, Todd, this is Scott, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, listen, man, He said, I bought your course, The Insider Secrets of Recruiting. I listened to it. I changed your script. I changed the professionals. I tried to shift it around. I fell flat on my face. I was so pissed off that I spent all that money. I threw your course in the closet, and I kept plugging into you because I liked you. And I kept hearing all these people that were getting results from this course, and I didn't get any results. So I went back to the course again. This time, I listened to it. I did it exactly as you taught me. I didn't change anything. And he goes, my first 2 dialing sessions, I went 12 for 12 and 9 for 12 in my first 2 dialing sessions. And what he meant by that is he made 12 phone calls to 12 professionals. All 12 of them said, yeah. After he asked that question, do you at all keep your options open in terms of making money outside of what you're currently doing? Yes. Called 12, got 12 to say yes. Second session, he went 9 for 12. He goes, I'm crushing it. I'm not throwing the course away again. And it was so funny to hear that, because that's a prime example of what I'm talking about, where people reinvent the wheel. And he went on to have a very successful career, just knocking it dead, utilizing this method. But the key thing is understanding the power and asking the question. Now, I'm going to do a little reality check for you guys real quick. This is gonna see, there's a phrase. The phrase is this: awareness is the first step towards creating change. So you can't really change anything until you're aware that you need to change it, right? Today I had a doctor's appointment, and I got all this extensive blood work done, and then I actually went and donated blood afterwards at the Red Cross, just because my blood work was so good. But can you imagine going in there and you hadn't seen your blood work, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, your cholesterol's here, your this is there, you're this and you didn't know that. Immediately you would have a level of a reality that you didn't have yesterday. And now, because of that level of awareness, now it's time to change, right? It's like you can't go the next day with a high cholesterol and go, I'm going to eat something that's laden with cholesterol. You're going to have that level of awareness is going to force you to change. So I'm going to give you a level of awareness right now. You guys are missing opportunities that are underneath your nose every single day. So the best way for me to, in fact, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. And then I want you guys to answer this question. Let me open up the chat real quick so I can see this. I got to be able to see the chat. Let me check this out. All right. So I need your participation. Okay. First question is, ready? I need you to type in this because this way I'm not cheating. Okay. Do you own a cell phone? If you do, type the word phone in. I know it's a ridiculous question, but you need to go with it. If you own a cell phone, I know it's but we got to go with it. Okay. Cool. I already know it's 100%. If somebody doesn't have a cell phone, we need to help a brother or sister out, right? Okay, so we all know that you got a phone. That's the first question. Ready? Here's the second question. Is it at all possible that within the last 7 days of you living your life, taking the kids to and from school, running to the grocery store, running errands, doing whatever it is you do throughout the week, in the last 7 days, is it humanly possible that you've driven by any for sale sign for any piece of real estate? If so, I want you to type in RE for real estate. If you think it's no, just type in no RE. Okay? So we got 100% of the people that have a phone, and it looks to me so far, okay, 1 person, no RE. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate that. But all of you, from what I can tell in the comments, have in the last 7 days, it's possible, right? It's pretty probable, in fact. Last question is, did you actually call the realtor and talk to him and ask him a question about taking a look at HempWorx? Yes or no? Hell no. No. Let's see if we get any yeses. Is there any yeses? No, of course not. Well, of course not's going to change after tonight. No. Okay, so I'm still waiting. I don't see a yes yet. So you all have a cell phone. You all, except with the exception of 1 person, think it's possible you drove by a sale sign. And number 3 is not one of you actually picked up the phone and said, hey, and made the call. I'm going to teach you how to make the call, right? So now, so for me, when I drive by for a sale sign, to me, that's an opportunity. That's an opportunity right in front of my face. And I seize the opportunity. So I'm going to give you an example. And I'm going to do it. So what that tells me, and I want to do this so I'm not cheating, right? So I asked you these questions live, and we got all the answers. So 100% cell phone, almost 100% have driven by for sale sign, and 100% didn't call. So what that tells me is you're not looking at these things as opportunities when I do. And that's one of the big changes. So I want to do this is, and this is a quick story, but a really big lesson for those of you guys that are tuned in tonight. So years ago, and the best way for me to do it, because this is just beautiful. So I'm coming home from a network marketing event, like we do in network marketing. I was gone from my house for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. When you're gone for 4 or 5 days, your mailbox fills up, and I ate my veggies and my fruits and stuff before I left. So I know as soon as I got home from this trip, I need to go to the grocery store. I need to go pick up my mail. So I get in my car, like I literally walked in my house, dropped my bag, got in the car, and it's like 8-10 minutes or something to my little strip center. And at this time I was living in Pine Lake. So here's the deal. So as I'm leaving the neighborhood, I'm literally driving out of my neighborhood. I see a for sale sign, and I keep a legal yellow pad and pen in my car at all times for this very specific purpose. In fact, I keep it, it's wedged between my center console and my seat, so I can just whip it out. And so I pull over, I see this for sale sign, and I pull over, I write the realtor's name and phone number down. I don't stop, make myself a sandwich, go visit the house. I just drove by, Jan, Coldwell Banker, blah, 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 phone number. And I picked up the phone. Now understand, this is the other thing I want you to clearly understand. I'm on an errand running session. I'm not, this is like, you know, we run errands and do stuff all the time. I'm tuned in. I'm running errands, but I'm multitasking essentially, because we're always looking for opportunities to grow our business, or we should be. So I drive by. I'm like 3 blocks from my house. I see it. I pull over, write her name and phone number down. I pick up the phone in my car, and I good afternoon. This is Jan. I'm like, hey, Jan, Todd Falcone, how you doing? She's like, great. What can I do for you? I said, Jan, I was just driving by your listing here in Beaver Lake Estates. She said, oh, fantastic. Are you interested in the home? I said, well, Jan, it's a beautiful home. I actually own a house right around the corner from where the listing is. Let me tell you why I'm calling. I'm an entrepreneur. I love working with people in the real estate community. And I have a very straight up question for you. Do you at all keep your options open in terms of making any money outside of what you're currently doing with Coldwell Banker? That was the question. And she says, yes, as a matter of fact, I do. At that point, what would you do? You would get them in front of your tour, right? You would get them in front of your website. You would direct them. And that's what I did with her. I put her in front of, at that time, what we had available. So, but again, I'm on an errand running session. Most of you guys are whipping right by these and you're not even thinking about it. I slow down, pull over for a couple seconds, write her name and phone number down. And I've made the phone call on the way in, finished the phone call way before and it was like short call, maybe 4 minutes. Now I'm getting information to this woman that is a high level realtor. She has the right qualities that I'm looking for. I pull up to Pine Lake Shopping Center about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm dragging a little bit. So I go into the local coffee shop and I order myself a green tea. As I'm waiting for my green tea in the coffee shop, I see one of these. What's that? It's a cork board. We see these different places. I see them in my gym, places where people post stuff, right? And I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking up on that cork board. I'm not looking for the person that's selling their puppies. I'm not looking for the person that's, selling their broken bike. I look up there. I'm like, oh, there's a realtor. Oh, there's a personal fitness trainer. Oh, there's a mortgage broker. I grab the 3 business cards while I'm waiting for my green tea, take them off the board, put them in my pocket. I go right next door to where my mail place is. I grab my mail and I motor over to QFC, which is 50 yards over to the right. And QFC is like a shopping center it's a grocery store chain up in Washington State. So I pull up and I'm starting to do my grocery shopping. And as I'm motoring through the grocery store, all of a sudden I see on my grocery cart an ad. And in this case, it was actually that I pulled this off the internet, but the ad was actually where my kid would be sitting, little place for little people, where your kid, if you got your kid in there and they shove their legs through those 2 little slots. And there was an ad there with this guy's bright beaming smile on his face with State Farm Insurance. And his name was Greg. I'm in the grocery store. I pull out my phone while I'm going through the grocery store. Ring, ring, good afternoon, State Farm Insurance. I'm like, hi, can I speak with Greg, please? Yeah, hold, please. This is Greg. I go, hey, Greg, Todd Falcone, how you doing? He's like, great, what can I do for you? I say, Greg, I'm looking at your smiling face between my tomatoes and my eggs. And he kind of laughed and he said, oh, yeah, you must be seeing my ad on the shopping cart. I said, I'm literally, Greg, I'm in the grocery store looking at your smiling face. And I don't want my eggs to crush. I don't want my tomatoes to crush. So it's right next to where your ad is. I said, listen, if you're running this ad, you're obviously looking to grow your State Farm business. Listen, I'm an entrepreneur. I love working with very successful people. I have a very simple question for you. Do you at all keep your options open in terms of making any money outside of what you're currently doing with State Farm? And he says, yeah, I always keep my options open for great opportunity. And I said, listen, I said, I can see your office is right around the corner from my house. Is it possible that we get together on Monday or Tuesday of next week? And he said, Tuesday's good. And so I ended up booking an appointment while I'm in the grocery store. I made this phone call in the grocery store. I scheduled an appointment with Greg for, I think, 9 a.m. the following Tuesday. I went and met with Greg. And when I sat down with Greg, it was probably a 45-minute or hour meeting. I walked out of that meeting with him signing up in my business. Now, did Greg become a mega superstar in that business? No. But he was a very loyal product user for many years on that product. He actually referred me to some really good people. Was it worth the phone call in the grocery store? Yeah, because I made thousands. I didn't make hundreds of thousands as a result of that phone call, but that's just one example. I wrap it up, check out of my grocery store, get in my car. What's in my pocket? 3 business cards: personal fitness trainer, mortgage broker, realtor. I make those 3 phone calls on my way home, finish the last phone call in my driveway. 2 out of those 3 people said yes to me. Actually, the realtor and the mortgage broker said yes. The personal fitness trainer said, no, I'm not interested. Okay. So here on an errand running session, I make 5 phone calls. 4 out of the 5 people I called said, yeah, I'm open. And what are we looking for? We're looking for somebody who fits the bill, who's somebody we'd love to have in our business 7 days a week and is open. And so now here's the deal for you. Tomorrow, you can't see this stuff and not go, dang, man, this Falcone guy, oh, he racked my brain last night with Jerry. Now I'm going to look at this thing, and now it's a decision for you. It's a decision for you to change, right? Are you going to drive by and ignore what I just told you? Or are you going to be like, hey, and here's the thing. Successful people, they're nice. Even if they're not open, they're like, nope, I'm not interested, not open, but I appreciate you calling. I'm like, have an amazing day. They're not, rah, 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 what the hell you want? They're professional people. They stay professional. And I'm telling you, this method works. It can be done on LinkedIn. I got my buddy, Andrew. I don't know if I have his slide in here or not, but Andrew, like in fact, I might have pulled it out because it's the last slide was not updated. Like, he had sponsored, I think he's up to like over 300 people that he's personally recruited into his business on LinkedIn using the strategy. And he lives in South Africa. And so, in fact, 2 summers ago, I was in South Africa, and he was like, oh, he goes, Todd, check this out. We were in Port Elizabeth at the airport. I was doing like a month-long tour speaking over there. He goes, check this out. And he turns his laptop to me, and he shows me this conversation that he's having on LinkedIn. He goes, you see that? He goes, there's your question. And there he was typing the question after this conversation with the guy. Do you at all keep your options open in terms of making money outside of what you're currently doing in financial planning? This is Financial Planner. I'm like, awesome. I love a good student, right? And then like a week later, we were in Durban, South Africa, and we were at his house, this beautiful house in Salt Rock on the ocean. And he goes, hey, Todd, come here, check this out. I'm like, what? I come over to his laptop. He goes, you see that guy's name right there? I'm like, yeah. He goes, that was the guy that I was prospecting. We were in Port Elizabeth. He's in my business now. I'm like, that's awesome. And he's gone on to absolutely crush it. So here's something I want to share with you real quickly. So look, you have the question. You know that recruiting up is a better way. Think about it. Successful people are successful for a reason, because they roll up their sleeves and they get after it. I want you to understand something that I probably thought this early on in life. I thought, oh, gee, if somebody's successful, they're already successful. They don't want anything else. The other part of it is people allow you to see what they want you to see. So your friend that's got the really nice house and the BMW and the Range Rover and the toys and the boat and the blah, blah, blah. You're thinking, man, I'm jealous. Geez, I wish I had that, what that guy has. I mean, he could be literally dying inside, praying for an opportunity to come his way. And for us not to say, look, Bob, you know what? I know you're busy, you're very successful, but I got a straight up question for you. Do you keep your options open at all in terms of making money outside of what you're currently doing? Oh my God, Todd, yes, absolutely. What do you got? I mean, it's unbelievable what we uncover when we simply ask questions, right? So again, I mean, we got limited time tonight. My whole idea here is to get you thinking differently tonight, so that tomorrow when you start operating, you're looking at things in a different way. This can be done on Facebook, can be done on LinkedIn, can be done in your local backyard, can be done state by state, city by city, internationally. It can be done anywhere. I got people all over the world. that incorporate this stuff. And I want to share something because I told you at the beginning, I'm gonna make something available to you at a really great deal. I mean, I'm a big fan of Jerry. Jerry's a cool dude. I'm a big fan of hempworx, mydailychoice. I just, again, with what's happening with CBD right now, I think it's foolish not to be going after the very best people you possibly can. I want to share with you, like, for years, I didn't want to teach this stuff. And not because I'm stingy, but when you find something like, I don't know, what was it? Who has the secret sauce? One of these fast food places has the secret sauce. 2 all-beef patty special sauce, yeah, or special sauce. 2 all-beef patty special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, all that stuff. I don't know if that was Burger King or whatever, but the special sauce, like when somebody has their special sauce, and who knows what it is, probably ketchup and who knows what it is, but you know, they don't want to tell you what it is. And I'd done enough marketing in my life as a network marketer that when I discovered how good this was, I'm like, I ain't telling anybody. This is mine, baby. I was McDonald's. Appreciate that, David. So for a long time, I didn't tell anybody. I had my friend Anthony who was like begging me. He's like, literally, it got to the point where he was literally begging me to teach it to him. And I'm like, well, you can listen to me make some live dials one time and see if you can figure it out. So I just had him listen to me on a call. And he was just like, oh my God, Todd, I have got to know how you got to fill me in. I'm like, And I was like, I'm not ready for it. And then I went over to the U.S. Department of Labor's website and I did a research, I don't want to say research study because it's not really accurate, but I went in there and I looked at all the career categories that I was calling into and the sheer numbers of people moving in and to and through these career categories. I was like, I can't outfish this pond. And if you're a fisherman, like I went fly fishing yesterday, and you find your secret spot, you're typically not going to tell somebody where your secret spot is. And if any of you guys fish, you know what I'm talking about. You're like, no, I tell. What was the lake? You know, you don't even tell people, right? So I ended up producing a course called Insider Secrets to Recruiting Professionals. We've absolutely crushed it with that. People from all over the world are using it. I did a full re-record of it a couple of years ago. It's called Insider Secrets to Recruiting Professionals 2.0. It's in digital format. I just want to go through it with you real quickly. And then you got to determine for yourself whether this is something you want to invest in. But I think the price point and the discount that we're offering you guys is pretty cool. So the Insider Secrets home study course, totally digitally delivered. It's over 30 modules of me laying out exactly how to do this. I don't leave you guessing. I lay out who the best categories are, what qualities to look for. I cover everything, where to find them locally, where to find them abroad, learning, knowing exactly how to pose the question. I teach you what are called reframe questions. I lay the whole thing out, how to follow up with people, how to recruit people that you look up to in your warm market, like a lot of those chicken list people, how to maximize referrals from professionals. I give you a complete rundown. That's the main part of the course. And I'll give you, hold on, there we go. So the value on that's $997. You're not paying $997, so don't even worry about it. But then I also include what's called the Insider Secrets to Recruiting Pros resource guide. Everybody learns differently. Sometimes it's auditorily, sometimes hearing and reading. So I give you this downloadable resource guide, which really helps to strengthen the learning. Going into personality qualities to look for in a business partner. I give you multiple scripts that you can model in that. I give you the exact reframe questions. A reframe question is basically when you ask somebody a question, like if I ask you, do it, I'll keep your options open. And they're like, well, it depends. I show you how to change the question just a little bit. So you can take that it depends and immediately turn it into a yes. It's pretty powerful. I give you the best voicemail scripts when calling people, effective approaches for getting referrals, best places to find professionals. And so that's laid out in the resource guide that comes along with it. That's like $100 value in itself. You're not going to pay that, don't worry. And then this is huge. This was an add-on. This is what we call the pain points and hot buttons checklist. Every career has its good things and its bad things, right? Like as an example, realtors. And some of you maybe have been realtors in the past. I don't know, but a realtor, for example, if they're selling, they're making great money. If they're not selling, they're not making any money. They got to work Saturdays and Sundays, every Saturday and Sunday doing open houses. They'd probably rather at their kid's soccer game. I don't know. If they're selling, they're making money. If they're not selling, they're not making any money. So the pain point is linear income. I'm paid when I'm making a sale. I don't make any. There's no residual income in it. And the other pain point, one of the other pain points is they got to work every Saturday and Sunday. Every career that we call into, these professional careers, I give you an education, a mini education, and I give you what those hot buttons are or those pain points. And so instead of you having to be a real estate professional, mortgage expert, or understand what the pains of outside salespeople or these people are, I lay it out for you in that checklist. It really helps you to just understand how to work with these people. And so it's kind of like, I'm not saying I'm putting you through real estate school because that would be too much work anyhow, but I give you enough education on these different career categories where it makes you super, super effective. So the value on that add-on to that is another $297. And then we have this thing called the search training. And the search training shows you exactly how to find people to connect with locally, how to find people across the country, internationally. I don't know how many countries you guys are in yet, but as you guys grow, it'll probably be a really good idea to know exactly how to recruit up outside of the United States and other countries that you might go into. I give you, and this is super cool, how to quickly conduct a little mini market research and cherry pick the best markets to call into, because some markets are hotter, some are not. And I show you exactly what I would look for to get the best results in calling into different markets. You know, for example, like not every real estate market isn't the same. Some markets are hotter, some are colder. Typically a colder market might be a little bit better to call into or market into. I give you the best sites to find professionals. I give you the top social networking sites used by business professionals that are beyond just Facebook and LinkedIn. So the value on that's $197. The total value on that's $1,588 if I was going to sell it all to you in a normal deal without doing a webinar. But here's the deal. And I'm not going to pause. I'm not going to hesitate. Because you guys are on this live Zoom / webinar tonight, you get all of that stuff for $297. I realize it's an investment. It took me years to perfect this. Like sitting down with my team, we're like, well, what do we charge for this? And I was like, we got to charge like $2,997. My team's like, I don't know if we want to do that because I understand that kind of figure is outside the budget, but it costs me thousands of dollars, and I don't know how many hundreds of hours to get this stuff dialed in. You get it without having to go through all the pain that I did. There's a website in front of you, toddfalcone.com/recruit up, that you can grab it on. But I want to give you one more thing because this is super cool. I'm all about rewarding people that move, okay? Somebody who can make a decision deserves to be rewarded. So we added this fast action bonus. If you act within 60 minutes tonight, so you go to that page, like, dude, this makes sense to me. I see it. I want to learn how to do it. If you act in the next 60 minutes of watching this, I'm going to give you what is called the Recruiting Pros 6-part Live Dials video series. This is literally me making phone calls to real professionals, and you can like just sit on my shoulder and listen. These aren't made up calls. This is like 6 hours of me prospecting. I didn't delete the no's. If I get a no, I included it. I didn't like cherry pick and edit this stuff out. I'm like, you get to hear exactly what it's like for me to make phone calls to these people. One of the best ways of learning, you guys, is watching somebody do something in action. I can sit here and theory's great, but when you get to actually see somebody do something and it's like hands-on, it makes the biggest difference in the world. So this is an opportunity for you to understand and watch me do it. I give you rationale between calls and help you understand why I did what I did. So, this happened. Well, let me explain to you why I did what I did with this guy, or why I left, or why I continued. And so it's really fascinating. We actually produce this as a separate product. This product by itself sells for $497. But you guys tonight, guess what? If you act within the next 60 minutes, I'm going to throw that one in there. That brings a value to a couple grand, a little over a couple grand. It's only $297. The website's in front of you, toddfalcone.com/recruit up. And then I'll say this one more time. I'll just say this. I have been doing this, the speaking and training side, for 14 years. I ain't going anywhere. And so 100%, I stand behind everything I put out in the marketplace. If you dig through look, we get virtually zero returns on this product. I'm not going to say occasionally somebody comes to and say, I want my money back. Fine, whatever. It's probably somebody trying to steal my information, listen to it all, and then get their money back. Sometimes people are lame like that. But here's what I know. I know that when you apply this, when you put it to use, you do what I teach you to do in the Recruiting Pros course, you can't help but start to bring really good people in. And I'm telling you, the clock is ticking right now on CBD. You need to be taking big action now, and you need to be taking big action when it comes to recruiting up. So there's the site in front of you, toddfalcone.com/recruit up. You get the Recruiting Pros home study course, the resource guide, the hot buttons checklist, the pros search training. And if you act super fast, you get the pros live dial series. You get all of it. Value on that's a couple grand. You get it all for $297. You're worth it. You are the very best person to invest in. I'll tell you last thing I'm going to say. I started in network marketing at 22. I had no assets. I had no money. I had no savings. First 2 months, this guy immediately, like within the first 2 months of being in the business, he's like, dude, you need to go to, there was a seminar going on in San Diego, California. I'd never been to a seminar. I didn't even know what a seminar was. And he's like, hey, you need to go to the seminar. I'm like, I don't have any money. You need to go to the seminar. I'm like, I don't have any money. And it was $300 in 1989, actually first part of 1990. He said, do you want to be a leader in this company? I said, yeah, I do, but I don't have any money. He goes, figure it out. And he turned and he goes, every leader attends this event. And he literally turned and he walked away from me. And I wanted to be a leader so bad. I wanted what these people had that I didn't yet have, that I figured out a way to make it happen. I realized for some of you, it might be a stretch. But I mean, how many people you got to recruit to make up for it? Not that many, right? And so I know the difference that it'll make when you take action on it. So even if it's a stretch for you, you know what? If 297 is a stretch, I don't know. I can't see everybody's faces right now because I see, just screen share. But if it's a stretch and you're 35, 40, 45, something needs to change, man. We got to get you to shift something, because I don't think you ever want to have to say, I can't afford the 300 or the 500 or do this. When you no longer have to look at the price, the menu, read your menu from right to left, go someplace, buy something and leave a place. And you're like, I don't even know how much I just spent. I just signed for it on my credit card or whatever. I don't even do like that. Is a beautiful position to be in, where you never really have to think about money. You can do what you want when you want to do it, not have to worry about it. And I know that this particular course can be a contributing factor in helping you to do that. And if you don't get the course, if it's not your thing, I get it. At least make sure you wake up tomorrow morning and you think about that example that I gave you, that reality check, and you start to operate and act a little bit differently. But if you really want to understand this stuff, getting that course can be the very best thing that you can do. So, Jerry, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to stop the screen share. I'm going to say thank you, thank you, thank you. You're awesome. I appreciate you. And I don't know, I mean, if there are a couple questions, we can probably take that real quick, or we'll do whatever you want to do, brother.
Todd, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. I'm fine if you want to take a couple questions, but it's up to you.
No, I mean, you got me for a couple more minutes. If anybody's got a question, I am more than willing to help. If somebody has one, and if you don't, then that's fine too. Going once, twice.
Looks like we're good for now.
Awesome. Well, Jerry, I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you guys are doing, your leadership, and it's just amazing you guys are in such a you're in like the catbird seat, man. And I don't say that, and that's why I'm saying, do not take what I said, go throw it all over Facebook, because I speak for all these different network marketing companies, and I can't necessarily say the same thing about every other company that I can say about what you guys got going on. So go crush it, my friends. Have an amazing night, Jerry. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much, Todd. Have a good one. We appreciate it.
Everybody. Appreciate y'all.